You know that feeling after a party where everyone else is buzzing with energy and you just feel drained? Like you've been running a mental marathon while they were just hanging out? Yeah. Most people think that means something's wrong with them. But research suggests something completely different is actually going on. So here's what researchers from LSE and Singapore Management University found when they looked at data from about 15,000 people. People who score higher on cognitive tests tend to get less satisfaction from constant socializing, which sounds like go be alone forever. But that's not the point at all. Let me explain what's actually happening. When you walk into a room, your brain doesn't just exist there. You're processing, you're catching facial expressions, noticing tone of voice, predicting where conversations are heading. You're managing how you come across. You're keeping track of what everyone just said. All of that simultaneously. Now, if your brain naturally runs faster, and that tends to go hand in hand with higher cognitive ability, all that processing isn't happening quietly in the background. It's the whole show. It's taxing. So when you leave feeling wiped out, and your friends leave feeling alive, you're not broken. Your brain was just working overtime the whole time. That's literally it. Different brains, different workload. Here's where everyone screws this up though. People hear this and jump straight to, so I'm too smart for regular people, and I should just be alone. But that's not even close to what the research says. What it actually shows is that the quality of your connections matters way more than how many you have. Because this is real. Forced small talk in a crowded room, yeah, that drains you. But a genuine conversation about something you actually care about with someone who gets it, that's different. That can feel good. The problem wasn't the social part. The problem was the performing part. There's a massive difference between those two things. Here's something that needs to be said though. If you're using this as cover to just ghost everyone and call it intelligence, check yourself on that. There's a real difference. I need fewer, deeper friendships. And I'm anxious about people, so I'm making this about being smart. One's about preference. One's about fear. And loneliness actually damages everyone. Doesn't matter how intelligent you are. Your brain doesn't care about your IQ when it's experiencing isolation. Also, being alone doesn't automatically make you more creative or original. Tons of isolated people end up in their own echo chambers, just confirming what they already believe. Meanwhile, loads of super social people are brilliant innovators. The idea that solitude equals genius is way oversimplified. What actually seems to work is this. Find the people and the situations where you can think out loud without performing, where you can be unfiltered and the conversation actually matters, where you're not exhausted by the interaction. For some people, that's 3 close friends. For others, it's more. Some people have one best friend and a handful of solid people they see occasionally. There's no fixed number. It's just whatever's actually real for you. So what do you actually do here? Stop forcing yourself to stay at things that completely drain you. If you hate it, don't go. Your time matters too much for that. But also, and this part's important, actually pursue the connections that do work for you. Hunt for people worth having real conversations with. Because that's the thing about your brain. It's built for depth. So go find it. That's not being antisocial. That's just being honest about what you need. The actual breakthrough is when you quit apologizing for how you're wired and start getting intentional about where you spend your energy. That's not settling for fewer friendships. That's choosing real ones. And that's really all of it.